Good morning and welcome to the little apartment on the prairie. If you've been watching some of my videos where I was foraging for things, one of the things I foraged for was mullein. I do use some mullein leaves, but mostly I use the flowers, and I'm going to show you today what I do with some of those flowers. This is about 2 cups of dried mullein flowers. And man, those flowers are tiny and you have to pick them off the plant like one by one, and it takes a long time to get this much mullein. I'm telling you, this is a lot of work. The other day, my cat Sassy, who is walking on the keyboard right now, get down. She knocked this jar off the counter into her water dish. Thank goodness nothing broke. The jar stayed sealed, it didn't get wet. Oh my God, I would have been so upset. I mean, this was a lot of work and it's too late in the season to get any now, so I just would have been out of luck. And I'm going to show you what my favorite thing to do with dried mullein flowers is I make an oil that I use for earaches. Insert disclaimer here, I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you that this will treat your earaches or that you should put it in your ears or that it'll cure anything. What I know is I put it in my ears when my ears hurt and it makes them feel better. And I've got a couple friends I've given it to and they really like it. Now it's got garlic, it's got dried mullein flowers, it's got garlic, and it's got olive oil. That's all that is in it. Garlic is supposed to have some sort of antiseptic or antibacterial properties, some people say. Again, I'm not telling you it's going to cure an ear infection. If I think I've got a bad ear infection, I go to the doctor and get antibiotics. But sometimes my ears bother me if I've got a sinus infection or something. Or even if I'm on antibiotics for an ear infection, my ears hurt. And the antibiotics take a few days before my ears start feeling better. And this makes my ears feel better, even if it, is not curing them. It makes them feel better while I take the antibiotics. So I use olive oil. I'm using kind of some cheap olive oil because, oh, there goes my cat, because I think it works as well as expensive olive oil, and I only use expensive olive oil, or more expensive anyway, not super expensive, but I do use maybe a better olive oil with certain foods that I'm cooking. But with this, I'm just going to pour olive oil in, and it kind of weighs down the flowers, and I'm going to fill the whole jar up. This whole, what's left in this bottle is going to fit in there. There we go. And then I'm going to add a spoonful of garlic. And I wish I had garlic that I grew myself, but I don't. I have minced garlic. It's the Walmart brand. And I'm going to put, I don't know, like a heaping teaspoonful in there. I don't know. I don't measure it. I will say, I like the way this stuff, I made this oil once without the garlic, just with the flowers and the oil. And what do you know? The smell was more pleasant than with the garlic. I mean, it smells a little garlicky. But several people suggested I add garlic, told me it would work better. I tried it, they were right. Now I use garlic. So I'm going to put it in the jar. I'm going to shake it up good. I'm going to keep it in a cool, dark place. I'm going to write with a Sharpie on the lid what's in it, just in case I forget. You would think you'd remember, but when you have a whole bunch of jars sitting over here with oil and various things, I've got plantain and almond oil. I got to strain that, by the way. What else do I have? Dandelion and almond oil. Man, that's been in there a long time. I can strain it. Okay, so I'm just going to shake it up occasionally when I think about it. I'm going to let it sit. Usually I go for 4 to 6 weeks. I put the date on the top. That dandelion and almond oil in that jar over there, that's been in that jar since April. It won't hurt it. You can leave it in the jar like forever. You don't need to. But it's not going to hurt it to be in there longer. Might make it a little stronger, but at some point you've extracted what you're going to extract from the plant. But I will just strain it, and then I will store it in, I like like to use those brown little jars that yeast comes in, or used to come in when they could get the jars, but you can put it in a regular glass jar. Keep it in a dark place. The light can kind of damage the oil, but it will keep practically forever. I have some little dropper bottles. Actually, let me show you one. I've got something else in it. Okay, this came from Amazon. This is a plantain tincture, but it's a 2-ounce bottle. They make 1-ounce bottles too. They're not that expensive. I think you get 12 at a time. I don't remember what I paid for them. I think it was less than 20 bucks. It was pretty cheap. That's what I put it in. Well, I fill that little dropper up, and then what's left, there'll be extra oil I put in a dark colored jar. But if you want to put it in a glass jar, you could just wrap paper around it or just keep it in a dark cupboard or something. And it'll keep for a really long time. And it's marvelous stuff. Leave it sit for 4 to 6 weeks or longer, then just strain out all the bits. Like I said, I think it smelled better without the garlic. It doesn't smell bad. It doesn't have a strong garlicky smell, but there's a little bit of a garlic smell. But it works better with the garlic, so I'm leaving the garlic in it. I think last year was the first year I did it with garlic. Maybe it was the second year. The year before that, I just did it with just the flowers and the oil. It's too late in the season here to collect mullein right now. Where I live, it grows in like the middle of the summer, like July is the time to get it. You can get it a little ways into August. It's just one of my favorite things because it works so well to make my ears feel better. And I'm the only adult I know that gets such bad ear infections. I didn't even get them as a kid. I don't know why I get them now. But I'm glad to have found something that gives me relief. So that's what I do with a lot of that mullein. I've got some mullein also with flowers and leaves sitting in a jar of vodka to make a tincture. But this is the most important thing for me that I use mullein for. Let me know what remedies you guys like for earaches. I haven't had any yet this year, but we're just getting into fall. So usually I get them late in the fall or in the winter. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. If you hit the little bell icon, YouTube is supposed to tell you when I post new content. Everybody have a great weekend. Stay safe, stay well.